This one pretty simple trick should cut your damage down in half or even more than that in the February raid Mirage targets. Hey everyone, Derpy here, and welcome back to another Battle Pirates video. Kixeye was nice enough to give out a free fleet of Mirages, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, being Kixeye, the Kixeye build that they have on here is not good for pretty much anything. I'm going to show you one simple trick that should actually let you do all of the targets I'm doing, especially the 103 and the 900, yes, the highest target for instant repair. Like not just instant, but 0 seconds of damage. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the fleet that Kixeye gave, and by the way this does require an open shipyard to refit, is pretty decent. It actually has pretty decent specials. Yes, there's one that's better than Iron Feather Battery you could put on, but I don't really care about 10 or 20% damage. What I care about today is the countermeasures. Kixeye equipped this with sprints, and sprints work okay against rockets. The only problem is that sprints only fire when your ship is above water. And that should never happen. You should be submerged the entire time here unless you're autoing, in which case then yes, sprints can be helpful. What I want you to do is to take these sprints off on at least 2 ships and refit to what I'm about to show you. This does require that you drive the targets, but honestly, even if you use sprints, they really aren't very effective whatsoever, so you're hardly losing anything. And the ability to do the top target for 0 seconds repair is fantastic. Now, when I say 0 seconds repair, the trick is that you can drive and avoid all of the explosive damage perfectly fine. The only things that are going to actually shoot at you are the torpedoes. Now luckily, we do have anti-torpedoes, which are the Cormorants. Now these you hopefully have a bunch of on some previous fleet that you can scrap and get the items back in inventory to equip on here, or maybe they are in the raid for 5 each, which honestly they should just be given out for free or should be basically free in pillage at this point. Now what you want to do is you want to equip 4 Cormorants to 1 ship. This goes from 1 to 4, which is pretty nice. You can put it on more, except that these weapons are limited to only having one particular, you can only put countermeasures on 4 ships, or 4 slots on the ship, which is why you're not putting it on more. This right here is a 12-hour refit, and it is actually boosted by the Mirror Mace defense system, which gives you countermeasure range and reload, which is pretty nice. But you're not quite done, because the other change I want you to make is take off Iron Feather Battery, take off your damage special, and put on high velocity rounds instead. This is super important, and you'll know this if you've watched my 103 or 900 videos, because it lets you intercept the enemy torpedoes before they hit your ships. Again, it lets you intercept the enemy torpedoes before they hit your ships. Now, what I want you to do is to do this on 2 of your ships. You could do it on 3, you can maybe even do it on 4, but at that point you're losing way too much damage, and it's not actually worth the refit on all 4 ships, because then you won't hardly do any damage, and it will take 4 times 21 hours to do in the first place. You only need to do this on 2 or possibly 3 ships, and that should be all it takes to do the targets the same way people with X1 fleets are doing them. Because all the stuff in the upgrades, the explosive survival, that doesn't matter if you're not taking damage. Torpedo critical hit chance is nice and will help you kill things more quickly. You might have to do a little more driving than someone with an X1 fleet, but again, the explosive survival doesn't matter because you're not taking any damage in the first place. And stuff like the surface time is okay, is a little bit of a bonus, but again, you shouldn't really even be surfaced in the 900 or 103 in any case. Now, this is a 21-hour refit, so I would highly recommend doing your best to get enough for 2 build tokens, which are 1.5 million points each if you don't have that already. Change 2 ships to the one that I'm showing here, like this, and then leave the others as is, and you'll do perfectly fine. If you wanted to do a little bit more refits, you could go up to 3 of the countermeasure ships and change the ship number 2 and the flagship to be a damage ship. Maybe you can refit on some of the limited torpedoes if you have them, but at that point we're getting up to like a 2-day refit, which is probably not worth it, and you're probably better off spending the points on something else. Top tier fleets have 2 damage ships and 3 of the ones I showed you earlier, but you're probably okay just refitting 2 of your ships here to be like my ships 4 and 5, which I showed you there. If this video was helpful, go ahead and not just like it, but share the video with someone in your alliance who got this free fleet so they can refit away from these bad Kixeye builds to one that actually works. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. With that said, I want to give a huge thank you to everyone whose names appears on the end screen now. They're helping make videos like this one possible. And until next time, this is Derpy signing out, helping you be a better pirate.